Okay, I'm not gonna do like a long video. This has kicked my ass. Like, I'm not kidding. Oh my God. You know what I had realized is that my ego was kind of protecting me or something because I don't know. I had myself like, oh, it can't be that big a deal. Because I had watched that one lady and she just laid there and they just did it real quick. And mine was definitely more intense than the one I had seen. Hers looked like it was done in the office and it looked really easy. Mine was definitely in the surgical thing. It was it was intense. Like you had these big lights, you had all this staff going, you had all these instruments, all this sterile stuff being done. And so there was like a lot of buildup, you know? But it was I still kept trying to and one thing I noticed too is I always start doing this when I get nervous, and I know that some people get told like that's something wrong with you. I just do it like naturally. There's nothing wrong with you. It must be some kind of some kind of thing. So, anyways, I start doing because my arms were strapped out and they're strapped down. And so I was sitting there doing my fingers and trying to relax. And the drive was intense. Like, I can't even tell you all the stuff. And it was there was a lot of communication going and a lot of like, there was these scare jumps all the time. It was like the Archons were fucking with me. And but you know, my team what kept telling me that, you know, trust, it's gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine. And it's like, fuck, this was intense, especially because it would be like the hazard lights kept going. They went for so long, I couldn't believe it. And they'd never turned off. And then and there wasn't very much traffic. And I'm thinking, man, this is a really good time to go. But there was all these strange mishaps. He's like, oh my gosh. One guy, he got mad at me on the road about something. I don't know what about. Um, because the people were really bothered by the hazard lights. And I have seen somebody on the highway before with their hazard lights on, and now I have a new perspective. But the time you know, you do notice and you think, oh, I wonder why their hazard lights are on. And but now I know, like, because your car can glitch out and just decide to do its own thing. And so she's really I'm having a bad day. She's having a bad day. Oh, shit, 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 shit. Excuse me, please. I'm doing this for a second, honey. Oh, I got all my dreams hanging off of me. And I had to change into my regular sweater. Yeah, I put a tube top over all the padding thing because that other thing was Velcro and it was getting my hair stuck in it. It was horrible. So, anyways, but I've been so uncomfortable. I can't even tell you, and not being able to sleep or anything. It's just like way, way, way more intense than I had even any comprehension. And it was my first sign was because I had done a group chat with my kids and my mom to update them, so I didn't have to do a bunch of singular ones. And because even copying and pasting is still, it's like just do a group one. So the and one of my daughters had said, you know, do you have anybody that's gonna be helping or anything? I heard, you know, it's really bad pain, and I was like, no, I'm sure I'll be fine. And if I would have had that the stronger meds here, I probably would have taken them. It is so freaking intense. I can't even tell you how it's I kind of figure it's got to be, well, my body was kind of like not happy to have the drains in there for one thing. It was like I could feel that like my body was reacting around that. But I think like you know, when the collapse happens, because it was like you're going like, for me, it was like a double D to a A. So it was like, and I think in it, and it was pulling out from that muscle. And so I think that it caused a huge spasm or something in like my thing. And then it fell onto another piece of plastic. And then it was like, that was really irritating it. And I still have no drainage. So, but tomorrow I have to take everything off, take the Tegaderm off, and then make sure that it doesn't start draining then. And then if it doesn't start draining, I'll be able to pull the drains. And so I think it'll be a lot more comfortable, but it's kind of icking me, you know, it's like, because it was intense, like in the surgery part even. Because when and the guy is so nice, like I can't, I'm gonna do a video like to promote his whole team. I mean, it was really such a cool energy, and these ladies were so supportive, and I felt like that feminine energy just kind of, and then I knew everybody was sending me good vibes and stuff, so I felt like I was, you know, definitely riding on a magic carpet. And but it was still an intense drive. I still got because when it's hard to take a deep breath too. And so when I was going, and so I don't know, you know, if I was just pissing people off just because my hazard lights were on. But this one guy, he tried to do something, like, I don't know if he was trying to cut me off, show me he was pissed off about something. And it went flying over into another lane, flow back over. It was just like that, right in front of me and stuff, like really intense. Like, it was like, fuck, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? It was like so intense. And but the drive was hardly any traffic. And I was like, man, this is a good time to go, because through, um, I've got a bunch of different names of places coming into my head. Eugene, no. At it's right outside of Seattle. It's like the first little part that you hit where you start getting traffic from over here. And then so it's got a ton of traffic, but from the whole way it was and maybe it's called Everett. I can't remember right now. But I couldn't remember what the name of this thing was. Your chest bone. I was like, is this your sternum? I couldn't. I was like, I can't. I don't know. I'm having I swear, I think it was like I put my body through a shock yesterday. It was like a big shock, and so my body has been. And I knew that I was going to be putting it into a shock. That's why I was really focused on trying to be really healthy, especially leading up to it and being really prepared. I've been drinking vitamin C and stuff. So anyways, I knew, but I mean, it was like more intense. I haven't had chapped lips in so long, and they still feel like it. And I still feel, it was kind of like when it was when he started doing the shots. Well, before I think he did the shots, I don't know what it is. It was like this little thing that pressed on my skin. That was like a lot of little sharp things, but there was parts I couldn't tell. So I think it was kind of like deadening the area to do the lidocaine shots. But then when he's doing the shots, then he has to check and see if you can feel this, if you can feel that. And so right away, you're starting to feel like this stuff. Then when he started like cutting, and I thought it was just going to be this like a little quick slice, like, but then he said that, no, now we're doing some cauterizing, just to the little things that are bleeding. But there kept being like a whole bunch. So that really started getting in my head. I started seeing in my head like him sawing through layers and layers of skin with this little flaming torch and stuff. It was really fucking with my head. And so then I started getting really cringy. My little fingers were going. And I think that's when I said, dang, I should have taken that Valium. I'd probably be a lot less stressed right now. And so then it was so that was already in my head. Then there was, I felt some like pulls and pokes. There was a couple times where I jumped, because he said, if you feel anything, just tell me, I'll give you another shot. But it wouldn't be like I would just say it. My whole body would jump. And so then, So I don't know if I was getting more shots or if I was just feeling certain things and then he stopped doing that. I don't know because there was this curtain. And so he was just doing his job. And so and then he would say, okay, you're going to feel some poking around in there and stuff like that. And I know he put a camera or something in there to look. And I heard him say something about, oh, it looks really good. And so so I think there was something about that. And then there was also one of the nurses said he tried to, like, because the two layers, when they pull the thing out, there's a slime. And she said it's really hard to get the slime to not to adhere to each other, that they'll keep sliding apart. And so during the en blanc, they cauterize in there. And so they do. But to me, I kept thinking that's doing more damage and more trauma. And I just wanted my body to try and do it naturally. But it must have done a couple of little things in there or something. I'm not sure. Because he had told me he didn't really want to do any cauterizing in there because he said he couldn't deaden inside the chest cavity, on the outside, so I would feel it. And he was sure I would feel it like echo through my chest. So I had his words in my mind when he's in there messing around, and then I'm like tuning in. Like, I'm pretty good at listening to other conversations. I think when you go through a trauma and when you're a kid, you're like very tuned in. You can hear across the way, like, yeah, so you're automatically like, what? No, so I could hear what they were saying. And then, but I was too focused on it. I was too focused on what he was doing. And I could feel, once I could feel up inside my body, that freaked me out. Like, and at some point, I know my body started shaking. Like, after you go through labor, if you've ever gone through labor after you have the baby, your body just starts to tremoring, like trembling, and then your teeth start chattering. It's some kind of like stress response. It's like your body kind of goes into this shock stress response. My body started doing that. I was like, oh my God. And so I was trying to relax myself, and luckily they sent this other nurse over. As soon as she started the distraction is so amazing, to be able to distract your mind off of what is going on. And she was good too, because she would keep, if I even started paying attention, she would ask me a question or something. And I didn't notice anything on the other side, and that went really fast. It was only on the first part, when he was very first doing it, I was just really getting in my head, and it was freaking me the fuck out. But I think that is when my body started doing that trembling thing. I think that is when it pulls. I don't know if it's like, it's probably the fucking like that stuff that they're trying to get out of people. Not like they're there, but that uh, hormonal, that response, the metabolic response that your body has. It shoots out a lot of cortisol or something to protect you. And I think that is why I kind of feel like kind of scattered or something, because it feels like I've been through a trauma, and like, I don't know how to explain it, because I kept thinking, oh, it's gonna be no big deal, I'm just gonna go in there, they'll do this real quick, it's gonna probably feel so good. For a second, I did feel light, but then as soon as they started poking in the drain tube thing, I started feeling a lot of pressure again in my chest. And so that was all. That's why I kept saying it. And then I noticed when I kept trying to readjust where the drain tubes are sewed into me, that really hurts too. So there's a couple places that hurt that I know will be a lot better. But oh my God, it totally was like fucking some elephant stomped on your chest or something. I cannot believe how bad it's been hurting. Like, I couldn't do anything. I like, sure the fuck couldn't sleep. Now I've taken a couple of little like cat naps, so I feel a little bit better, because I finally like could relax and get some sleep. And so I don't know, it's very small little increments, but the last couple, now I feel like so much better, because when I first got up, it was so fucking miserable. And and I think Amy was up on TikTok, so I was talking to her, and she's a nurse too. And so she had sent me this healing code thing and the frequency. So I put on the frequency and I just focused on meditating on this code, this 55515, which I thought that that was off the CIA code of like turning pain off in your mind or something, so that you just focus on it and say that number and it will just go away. Well, so anyways, I just turned on the 174 hertz on the thing, and then I just kept on repeating that number and like meditation and kept putting it there and putting it there. Oh, nothing was helping, nothing was helping. But what and then I got up and I went back to go lay in the bed because is it a slant? It's very uncomfortable. Like I can't lay down, I can't lay on my side, I can't, it's like, oh, I can only like sit back like if you were in a recliner. And luckily I have one of those that was their deal when they were doing the mattresses. When I got my mattress, that they would give you a free one of those tilty uh, frames. I was like, okay, cool. And now it's like, heck, it is cool. Like if you can't lay down flat and stuff. So, anyways, I went back in there, and what I found is moaning. I swear, letting out and at some point, I think it was making Stella understand more, because I felt like I had like a wolf inside of me or something, and I was howling out these um it was like howls of it was kept I kept getting these visions of like pain, I mean wailing and moaning, and how the point of it. And then I was seeing like animals, and how, feeling their pain and letting it out. And I kept thinking that when it was going on, the vibration was doing something inside of me, the humming. And I know this was already in my head because I had seen something recently, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something about humming and vibration and healing. And so when I was doing this, and while I kept doing that, I was noticing, this is the only thing that seems to be helping. It's just like letting the pain out, just wailing away, and then and Stella seemed to understand that, you know, that I don't know, like she could understand the language of what I was saying, even though she's irritated. Like she wants to go out, and so she's irritated with me. But so I kept thinking about that, and then I was thinking it's so weird because when I look back, I have done that every time that I've been in serious pain. I always just start moaning and like wailing or something, when it just like happens naturally. And like even when I was in labor, and because I had to do natural because I had a C-section before. And so but there is, I swear to God, there is something to it. Is I kept doing it, and then it would make my chest not hurt for a while. So I went to sleep for a little while, and then Stella started doing something. So then it woke me up, and immediately I was in pain again. And so I started doing it again, and it's like you can't even help it. It hurts so bad. It's like I don't know how you could hold that in. And I made me think like, is medicine stifling our natural ability to vibrate inside and heal our own self or something? And so I would wake up and it would be hurting again. So I would start doing it again. A couple times I had to get up and come out and let her out. And then I would sit out here like I'm doing now. And so I was sitting out here, but still I was just like, oh, I was just moaning and groaning in pain. And it is like this, it is like a stomp. It's like a spasm. Like there's so much in all these crazy sharp pains. It's like, fuck, like I really traumatized myself. But to not even be thinking that the whole time, to not be realizing like this is serious surgery. You're gonna go drive yourself, go in, get the surgery without any taking anything, and then you're gonna get in your car and drive 2.5 hours to get back home. Then start, because I had stuff when I got home that I had to do, and then it was I don't know, it started getting more uncomfortable. Once I started getting home, it got more and more uncomfortable, and then it just kept building and building and building to the point where it was like, oh my God, what the hell? I didn't know it was going to be like this. But then when my daughters were asking me this morning how I was feeling, and I told them that my one daughter had heard that it's excruciating. And I said, well, I would concur at this point. I would definitely call this excruciating. It's been a fucking kicking my ass. And so, and I was like, and some of this stuff is like, it feels good to go through it by yourself, like laying here grunting and groaning and moaning. It's like, because I don't know. It seems like something that, you need to do for yourself and not be held back or restricted. Like, I don't have to sit here and think, oh, I'm bothering somebody in the other room because I'm wailing away. But I swear to God, when you have some kind of pain, like you could do the 55515 and everybody's got to figure out what works for them. But also think about just like this vibration of releasing the energy that's there. And I was doing a lot of visuals too when I would be releasing it, and then just moaning it out and just growling it out, just getting into that animal part of yourself, not the part that's restricted by what is expected of us. And I think that there's something to it because I really am feeling so much better. It was the only thing that could get me to get to sleep was to moan and groan until I felt it would stop hurting. And then it would be like this real release of this energy or something. And now I'm feeling like pretty good. Like I'll still be really excited tomorrow to take all of the stuff off. And then the next day, really, I would be really excited to get the drains out because I get too much in my head, man. And I start thinking, I like a whole visual of the drains in there and what they're doing. It's like, I gotta get this out of my head. And I keep it like you try and think of it all connecting, but then you've got this disruption. It's like, oh, okay, I just want to get those out so I can really focus on just the connecting, everything just healing inside. But right now there's still plastic in there that has to go out. And I don't want it to like get real healed and then pull, and you know what I'm saying? So anyways, it messes with my head. But also on the drive, because there was a bunch of stuff, like I wish I could have had like it documented or something. It was crazy, the songs that were coming on, because I can't do my own music. It's just the music that just comes on. And it was so crazy. It was like it was talking to me the whole way in conversations. Even when mishaps would happen, a song would come on, and it was like it was crazy. And so it was like I was on this spiritual battle to get to believe that I could have what I wanted, that I wasn't asking too much. I wasn't going to get in a wreck on the way, because, you're asking too much to want to, I don't know, because there's an essence to cleaning up your mistakes when you're on the healing and you have to face yourself. There's a part of, facing those insecurities and seeing yourself in these other ways of how you got there. And then, really realizing like it was on trend, like, these girls that came onto the scene, I guess, like, who were, stacked up. And I think I'm pretty sure Pamela's and that she had some kind of something put in there. But, you know, she could have had like a B to a D or something. Like she could have a C to a D. I don't know. Um, but anyways, there was girls that were like smaller framed with really big boobs, and apparently doctors like that look or something. So now they said that the only people who even come in and get implants is all about reconstructive, and which is sad because that's how many people are being eaten up by this stuff that, you know, we're going to have some big shifts in understanding. But that all of those kinds of surgeries are just for that. The implants, the only implants they're doing are just replacing what people lost, not just adding on extra. And she said now it's more the trend of people want smaller. So I don't know what that whole transformation was. I thought, I guess, I don't know, because they're all focused on the BBL things, you know, the having the great big giant stacked out butt. So they have, you know, they just change the focus, I guess. I don't know. They've got to get girls all on some kind of insecurity. And it's always just a certain group of girls. Because the girls that have the trend naturally, that's just their body type, then, you know, it's all perfectly cool for them. All the clothes look good on them. The style looks good on them. The girls who don't have that body type get frustrated. But to me, it's like you got to dress for your body type. You can't just run around chasing a style. You know, that's where they make you feel insecure because they wrap you around their thumb. And then they get, you know, people's insecurities fund a lot of it end up with a lot of health stuff, you know. Like I for sure, because there's still like in my eyes, like this whole time through all the healing, um, there's still like this in my eye where I don't know, it feels sometimes like there's a puffiness behind it, behind my eyes or something. And so I keep waiting for my eyes to really clear up really good. And I'll notice sometimes when I'm doing this like lymph thing that they'll get a lot more clear. And so I'm hoping, because I've heard a lot of girls say, because they have even done documentation of their face over a couple weeks after they get their explant, and then a couple weeks, you know, within a couple weeks, that there's like a lot of transformation, a lot of swelling and stuff is gone. So I'm hoping that there's going to be swelling that will go down in my eyes, because your body's in this constant response system of, you know, kind of an inflammation, where that's where you get all these autoimmune disorders and stuff, because there's a lot that go associated with the implants. And so so I'm hoping that that helps my eyes clear up more and I can start seeing better. But the other thing I thought of is the aluminum. It's not aluminum, not, it's not, no, it's not mercury, is it? Silver, when they put the silver in our teeth. And so this, like where this one, it started going back, and so I've been trying to watch and see if it would start building back around it. And so there is a whole thing about these holistic dentists you can go to, and they remove all of the silver out of your teeth, which it still seems like, well, silver would be more natural. Why wouldn't you really get all the amalgam or whatever that crap is and take those ones out? And if you've ever had a fucking old cavity removed, it's fucking hellacious. It's so fucking horrible. It's like, oh, there's no fucking way I'm going through that barbaric shit again. And so, but there's a lot of people who are on the healing thing who believe you've got to get all of the silver out of your teeth. That there's like these reactions it creates, like it's something you'd have to look into, because there's a lot on it. And I don't know it good enough to know, but, or to repeat. But I started thinking, if my tooth keeps going back and not going around it, then I think that it's like naturally trying to reject the silver out. So if the silver falls out, then, I'm going to like trust my body on this one. It's like if the silver falls out, I'm just going to keep using the coconut, because the coconut oil pulling is supposed to, there's a lot of people that have had grow their teeth grow back, but also the minerals and bentonite clay, but also this one that I keep hearing about, this hydroxypropriate or something like that. I've seen one girl say that it's not good for you, but you'd have to look it up for yourself. And then to me, a lot of the things is try it and see, what your results are, because supposedly it's what our teeth are made of, and when you start using it, it repairs your teeth. And so, uh, I would do that kind of stuff and just try and repair my teeth, not go in and have any of these archaic treatments done anymore. And so that would be the other thing, though, where I would think, okay, but I'm not going to go in and pay all these. And it's a whole thing too. Like you can only remove like a certain area, and it really it's wild. And I'm sure there's something to it all, and I'm sure it affects different people in different ways. But anyways, that's what I was thinking about with the inflammation, because I feel like there's a lot of inflammation in my eyes. And I feel like that's why it makes it kind of hard to see. And so, anyways, that about the eyes, I'm gonna just see, like, let the teeth thing happen naturally, however it's gonna go. Because I had gotten implants over here, and my body rejected those too. And I feel like my body was trying to reject these implants, but my body is also, like heals itself. And so I think, it was like fighting some different things, trying with having those in there, especially for so long. So I feel sure that I've got some inflammatory stuff that was happening. And what was the other one? So when those things heal, then, there would be a difference, like in my joints or something. Like, I'll notice things like, okay, so now my joints don't crackle anymore. So anyways, that is just kind of stuff I'm gonna watch over the next couple weeks and see the improvements in my body. But definitely back, like right between my shoulder blades, it was hurting all the time. And I think that would cause pain up in my neck. And so that doesn't hurt. And I don't feel like I have that pain, because I kept thinking it was probably because that one was migrating. And I kept thinking, I bet you it's pushing on a nerve or something. And so, anyways, now having those out, but there's still, healing that has to happen. But anyways, so that was basically what I was going to talk about. I did go on TikTok a little to kind of see what was up. I saw Joe did some long speech. They've prolonged the TikTok thing. Now they're saying they've got 9 months. If they don't do something, they have to sell it to Americans or something. I don't know. Because they've got a lot of stuff associated with, crimes. There's going to be a lot of stuff. So I don't know how all that stuff will go down still. But people are just still in panic over there. It's all they're talking about. And then I don't know, there's some big thing at a college campus. There's going to be more of this. There's going to be more and more, with the protests are going to get way more rough. All the things that are going one direction are going to have issues. Like you have to be putting your energy towards, if you want things to go in a flow, you got to be in the flow of which way the energy is going. And people don't understand that the energy is shifting, and what was okay before isn't okay anymore. And it's if that's foreign to you, it's learnable. It's just finding balance in yourself. You just got yourself out of balance, but this is a place to get out of balance. This is a place, and so you're fully capable of getting your shit together. But it's hard because in this game, you have to face your emotions are inside of you, and they can be overwhelming. And so, um, it's part of the extra challenges is to be able to face yourself through like the emotional body or something. Oh, my hair. I feel like a wreck. I'm telling you. But so it definitely, there was something else. There was some other things I had seen. When everything I see, I just keep feeling like, okay, everything is moving forward. Everything is going forward. And you see people like spinning out on things and chant like I'm watching the people and the energy and watching, oh, it's really, really high pitched right now. It's really weird outside too. It's like dark, overcast, and it was supposed to be raining from today all week. So it's like this, I guess, all week. And yesterday it was super sunny, and I had taken her out twice to go for a walk before we left. And it was really sunny, but they were spraying the fuck out of it. So every time when they're doing a huge spray, I always think it's something's up in the sky they don't want us to see. And however it moves around us, like I'll pay attention. Like over here, there won't be a bunch of people that I'll see on TikTok on the East Coast that are saying, "Oh, they're spraying so heavy today." It's like it follows like a pattern of where I think it moves around. Like I think it is like goes around and is in different places. And then when it's in where you are, that they do a lot of spraying. But I could be wrong, but it just seems like that there's some kind of pattern like that. And anyways, to me, everything is still just keeps going full speed ahead. Like, we still don't know what's going to be the thing that's going to flip everything the other direction. But, it's about to be coming. Whenever it is, if it's 2 weeks from now, if it's 2 hours from now, if it's 6 weeks from now, if it's 2 months from now, it's still coming. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll go through I don't know what all we have to go through really as humanity over the next spring and summer. Hopefully they hurry up and get to it. I mean, it's so absurd. Like I would listen to Joe for a few minutes and he's talking about how he's doing so good with the economy. He's getting us out of debt, man. It's like he's just sending these huge amounts of money out that the money doesn't even exist. And then people get all outraged. Like, you guys, where is this money coming from? You realize we're in trillions and trillions in debt. We don't have money to send. Like, where is it coming from? And people get so mad. Like, and people aren't even paying their taxes. People can't pay their bills. People are struggling. There's more houses in foreclosure. And it was a whole freaking, I don't even remember. There's more things about that. Like, because that's all, it has so much to do with the control of us. And so that is this whole housing crash. Housing crash is going to happen. It could happen any second, especially when you get Joe up there locking in his answers on some of the stuff that is so absurd. He's so absurd. And and then I don't even know, like, they had people cheering for him. He was supposedly speaking at the union, for all the unions or something. And he was, they would like laugh at him and clap and cheer and stuff. I was like, is this for real? Like, there was two guys that were sitting like next to him. They would jump up and start clapping. I was like, I don't know. It was probably some staged performance for sure, because it's not even fucking Joe. This whole thing, just is irritating sometimes to just watch this stuff and then see the people get all like outraged and stuff. It's like, oh my God, this is all. But that's why it's all playing out so that they can wake up and see. because they can't see as it is. So, and they all have to be impacted somehow. Everybody, like, just think everybody was impacted somehow is what woke you up. Something happened that woke you up. So that's what everybody's got to go through. And I definitely am seeing, and all the people, uh, the things being so outrageous that they keep talking about it. And that is the movement of like the water. It's like the current is changing, and then the storm will come in, but the storm will be us. Really, that will be the change in the current, and it is. But it has to do with, whatever is lost, and this abrupt shift in perspective, and then the reaction. And that's where it's going to really make a big change. But anyways, I'm tired as can be. And so we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. I'll do some kind of update at some point. But right now, I feel like better. So anyways, still, no matter what, any of this stuff, it was totally worth it. But I definitely feel like, man, if I would have known it was really, really bad, would I have, I would have been more intimidated. I would have been like, it would have been different, probably. I would have definitely taken the ride, taken the Valium, but then that is like a whole nother direction. Like, and one thing I noticed is like, even though, I had that experience of, Pamela Anderson body or whatever there for a while, and, I can't go back from that. I went through that. So I experienced that perspective. Like it showed me a lot of things. It showed me things in society. It gave me a new way of seeing different things. And so that's where you can't get caught up and be like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't, where you got to let go of stuff. You got to see, oh, okay, well, yeah, it was kind of a dumbass thing to do, but god damn, I learned a lot of shit. I saw things, gave me great understanding on things. And so I just think it's important not to get caught up because it's really still a part of your story. It's not like you messed your story up, it's just a part of your story. And so, that's my perspective on this now. It's not like I'm going to be, shame myself for spending those years in, this plastic world or whatever. But, but to just understand, it's part of my story. It's part of my understanding. It's part of, what I've seen, what I've experienced. And now, the experience is changing depending on how much you value that. For me, it will change, like, it's going to change a lot of things for me, but it is, but it's probably not on the things of like what people would think. So anyways, but we're all on our own individual journeys. Like nobody can understand what you go through and what you're learning from your experience. And that's why you don't need to try and, get people to understand, because a lot of people get really caught up in trying to get someone to understand, and then it backfires, and it ends up that family thing was a family annihilation. The dad lost his mind, and he was like the neighborhood good guy, and that incident happened in Oklahoma, and the dad was well liked in the neighborhood. I guess the mom and the dad got into an argument, and the dad just got his thing out and just laid into her. And they had 4 little boys. Then he went and hunted them down, and and did them, each of them except for one. He left one, just one orphan little boy. And so I don't know. I don't even know all of the story, but you can really see, like, if you pay attention, like the deep soul stories that are playing out, like these stories go so much deeper than, us in observation can even imagine. Like, that is some serious shit. Like, fuck. So, I don't know. There's so many of these just super sad situations, but they've got to play out the way they're supposed to play out. And it is like, kind of like souls are kind of like ghosts, where ghosts just has to play out a certain thing. That is like, you have to play out this certain role. You can't just change it. If you change something, it was always going to be changed. You are always going to make those changes. You're not surprising the universe. It's you getting in tune with the universe and understand. I don't know. It's just a different way of existing, I think, from what I hear other people, like how they try and live. So, and I know before, there was at some point where I thought like we had more control, but I've learned that no, this is destiny, and people are playing roles, and there's no good guy or bad guy. We all are just here experiencing, readjusting our balance all the time. And the more that you tune into the process of what you're really doing here and not caught up in the drama that was created in your storyline, the more productive that you can be in what you're doing here. And so, but whatever you're focused on is what you're doing here. You exist to the understanding of your existence. Like, you are the creator of your existence. How far you can elaborate is how far you can expand your existence. It can be small or it can be large. So it's all up to the perceiver. So, anyways, just something to think about, I guess. But while you're thinking about that, just don't forget to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day. And then I'll talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.